Hello everyone, my name is Judith and I'm an early childhood educator here at our service. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short video. Today I'll be sharing how we keep your children safe, healthy, and supported while they are in our care. This include in part of introduction and context, why health and safety matter in early childhood, key health and safety practices, risk assessment in early childhood settings, linking theory to professional experience, and conclusion. In this presentation, it will discuss that design for families of an early childhood education and care service and aims to clearly explain how health and safety are prioritized in everyday practice. The importance of health and safety for well-being and learning. The early years are critical for development. When children feel safe, they are more confident to explore and learn. National frameworks such as the EYLF and NQS emphasize children's health and safety. As an early childhood educator, my role includes creating environments where children feel safe, supported, and confident to explore and learn. Families are key partners in this process, and understanding our health and safety practices helps build trust and share responsibility. This presentation outlines why health and safety matter so deeply in the early years, the key practices used within an early childhood setting, and how risk assessment works in a realistically based on replacement experience at BCBs. The information is intentionally presented in family-oriented language to reassure families, rather than overwhelm them with technical detail. Health and safety are not separate from learning. They are the foundation that allows children to play, explore, form relationships, and develop their full potential in a secure and nurturing environment. The importance of health and safety for well-being and learning. The early years are critical for development. When children feel safe, they are more confident to explore and learn. National frameworks such as the EYLF and EQS emphasize children's health and safety. The early years of life are a critical period for children's physical, emotional, social, and cognitive development. Research consistently shows that the first 5 years lay the foundation for a lifelong health, learning, and well-being of. When children feel safe, secure, and cared for, they are more likely to engage confidently in play, explore their environment, and build positive relationships with educators and peers. Health and safety practices are therefore not only about preventing accidents or illness, they actively support children's learning and development. In Australia, early childhood services operate with increased standards and expectations, including the NQF, the NQS, and the EYLF, which emphasize that children have the right to safe, healthy, and inclusive environments. Safe environments act as protective factors, reducing risk and supporting children's resilience, while unsafe or unpredictable environments can negatively impact emotional regulation and learning. During my placement at BCBs, I observed how these frameworks are applied in practice through strict and health policies and procedures. For example, educators consistently implemented hygiene practices such as hand washing, use of gloves, and cleaning routines to minimize the spread of infectious diseases. The service also follows clear illness and exclusion procedures, ensuring children who are unwell remain at home and are only allowed to return with medical clearance to protect others. These practices align with the center's infection control and health policies, which aim to provide a safe and healthy environment for all children. Everyday practices that keep children safe. A range of daily health and safety practices work together to protect children in early childhood settings. Active supervision is one of the most important practices, ensuring educators are always aware of where children are, what they are doing, and how to respond quickly if support is needed. Hygiene practices such as regular hand washing, cleaning toys and surfaces, and safe food handling help prevent the spread of illness, which is especially important in group settings. Safe environments are created through regular safety checks, maintenance of equipment, and the use of age-appropriate resources. During my placement at BCBs, I observed these practices in action where educators consistently conducted daily safety checks and maintained clean, organized environments in line with center policies. Nutrition and hydration are also key components of health and safety, as balanced meals and access to water support children's energy, growth, and concentration. Sleep and rest practices provide children with safe, calm spaces to rest, supporting emotional regulation and physical well-being. Illness and infection control procedures, including monitoring symptoms and following exclusion guidelines, help protect all children and educators. In my placement, I observed that children who displayed signs of illness were closely monitored and families were contacted promptly, demonstrating how policy is applied in practice. Families are kept informed through clear communication and shared policies, reinforcing a collaborative approach that supports children's well-being and safety. Together, these practices create an environment where children are protected while still being free to explore, play, and learn confidently. At BCBs, hygiene practices are strictly followed. Hand-washing routines where visual presentation is also displayed to guide children. Educators' use of gloves in cleaning toys and surfaces prevent infection. Medications are maintained and stored in a safe cabinet. Educators ensure children wash their hands regularly, wear gloves when handling bodily fluids, and clean surfaces to reduce infection risk. These practices minimize the spread of illness. Understanding risk assessment in my placement experience. Risk assessment is a proactive process used in early childhood education to identify potential hazards, assess the level of risk, and implement strategies to reduce or manage those risks. In my placement center, which caters for children from infancy to 5 years, risk assessment is part of everyday practice and is guided by center policies and procedures. For example, in the outdoor play area, educators may identify climbing equipment as a potential hazard due to the risk of falls. During my placement, I observed climbing equipment as a potential hazard, where educators manage the risk by supervising closely, limiting the number of children, and ensuring surfaces were used. Assessing how likely an injury could occur and how serious it might be is a key part of the center's risk assessment process and is outlined in their policies. Educators then implement strategies such as providing soft fall surfaces, limiting the number of children using equipment at one time, positioning educators nearby active supervision, and teaching children safe climbing behaviors. Risk assessment does not mean removing all challenges. Instead, it balances safety with opportunities for children to develop physical skills, confidence, and independence. Ongoing monitoring and review are essential as children's abilities, group dynamics, and environments change over time. This structured approach helps prevent accidents while still supporting meaningful learning experience through play. This structured approach helps prevent accidents while still supporting meaningful learning experiences through play. Health and safety in practice during placement. Professional experience placements provide valuable insights into how health and safety policies are enacted in real early childhood settings. During placement, it is common to observe educators consistently positioning themselves to maintain supervision, conducting daily safety checks of indoor and outdoor environments, and guiding children through hygiene routines such as hand washing before meals. Risk assessments are often informal but ongoing, with educators adjusting practices in response to weather conditions, group size, or children's developmental needs. These observations demonstrate the strong connection between theory, policy, and practice. Frameworks such as NQS and the EYLF are not abstract documents but practical guides that shape everyday decisions. BCBs has strong illness policies. Children who are unwell must stay home, and families are contacted immediately if symptoms appear. Medical clearance is required before returning to prevent infection spreading. Medication is a high-risk practice. At BCBs, medication is only given with parent consent and must be prescribed. Records are carefully documented. Children with medical conditions also have risk management plans to ensure their safety. Working together to keep children safe. Health and safety are fundamental to high-quality early childhood education and care. Through consistent practices such as supervision, hygiene, and safe environments and thoughtful risk assessment, educators create spaces where children can thrive physically and emotionally. Risk assessment ensures that potential hazards are identified and managed before harm occurs, without removing valuable opportunities for exploration and development. At BCBs, I observe how educators communicated with families regarding children's health routines and safety expectations, reinforcing collaborative approach to well-being. When families and educators collaborate, children benefit from consistent messages and shared expectations across home and the early learning environment. And these are the references of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.